Hey everybody, welcome to week 6. Hard to believe, one more week left of this class. So please make sure you're putting your project together. I hope you haven't left everything to the last minute. Don't wait to the last minute. I hope I don't have to tell you that, but make sure that you're getting everything together so that way all you need to do is gather the final materials and hand it in. Keep in mind this as well. You shouldn't be writing this as an academic paper, and if I may have said that at the start, but if I didn't, keep in mind that you don't need to put a reference page at the end. You can incorporate your data and any links into the body of your project. Frankly, I look at this as you should submit it as if you were actually submitting it to the client. You wouldn't be submitting a client a term paper or an academic paper with references. You would be putting it in a creative package that doesn't sacrifice the content. Okay. So when it comes to this week's task about share of voice, I want to talk about that for just a moment. Keep in mind that share of voice can be very, very tricky because you want to make sure you're seeing what it actually pertains to your client, not something else. Share of voice in some ways, and I put it this way, in 2016 during the presidential campaign, it was often said that President Trump had the share of voice on Twitter. That's great. What was the share of voice about? Was it about politics? Was it about The Apprentice? Was it about Stormy Daniels? Was it about his campaign promises? Things along those lines. Make sure that when you're looking at share of voice, it's dealing with what you are trying to solve for your client, not some ancillary issue. If you have more questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, let's step back to week 5. And before I step back into week 5, I want to focus on this week's other task, which is social data. So, without a solid grasp of social data, what is said to you and about you on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, how can you actually develop a successful plan without looking at that data? You can't simply. Social data is part of that secondary research that you probably learned about over the years. And it leads you to help developing an original campaign. So social data tells us about digital data as well. Imagine this. Your digital data comes from your website or your digital hub. Everything that splits off from that, it's like the hub of a wheel. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, a blog, all of those things support the digital or the website and drive you to the website or from the website to one of the social channels. Remember, you want to think of it this way. How did followers get to your blog? Did you see they came from Facebook? Did they come from Twitter? Was it a LinkedIn post that you made and they wanted to find out more about you? This social data helps you inform how your strategy with your campaign should go. So keep that in mind when it comes to social data. Now we go back to week 5 and visual design and how a brand uses it. Visual design can be both the written element of a tweet or a post or the picture or even a creative graphic. James discussed Red Bull and their slogan, Red Bull gives you wings. It's iconic now, as is their logo. So give it some thought. If you look at that logo, it implies action. So naturally, Red Bull has been popular with soccer, action sports, action type events. You see skiers, you see snowboarders, you see people cliff diving or space diving sponsored by Red Bull. Gives you wings, action. That's why we know it so well. Maria, on her Medium page, focused on Stella Artois' social media and how the visual element gives its brand, gives its consumers that feeling of relatability. If you look at what Stella Artois does, it makes you want to try their product. I know I've tried it. I like it. Then I looked at their social. I was like, wow, okay, you're talking to a particular audience that would like it. It seems hip. It seems cool. Why do you see all those young people in ads asking for a Stella Artois when sometimes you probably would have people saying, I need a Stella Artois? Keep that in mind. Sierra pointed out regarding Chick-fil-A, speaking as far as relatability with a brand, that family as a brand can be very effective. Think about this. Chick-fil-A highlights on social media the family sharing a meal, but how family is also how they view their employees. This imaging and messaging works very well because the message is actually the image. If you look at what they're doing, even if they were to just put a picture of a family up there eating Red Bull, eating Chick-fil-A, this would be relatable in many ways. So those are some of the things from week 5 as far as visual design. I'm looking forward to reading your input on week 6. Again, please make sure that if you're putting your final project together, that you are doing it in a way that makes you feel that you're confident about handing something in next week for week 7. If you have questions, if you're lost, if something is up that you need to talk to me about, please email me or hit me up on Twitter, LinkedIn. Best place to do it is via email at myamerican.edu address. And if you need to meet with me between now and next week, please set up an appointment so we can talk right away. You should be set to go for your projects just about and being ready to hand them in. If you really feel like you're behind, please talk to me so we can set something up ASAP. All right, enjoy the rest of the week. Look forward to your feedback and look forward to your reflections, and I will talk to you next week. Take care.